I'm back! So guys, welcome to another episode of the family table. So today we will be making shine rice cookup. Cookup is another traditional dish from Guyana. This is one of the 7 traditional dishes, but don't quote me on that. I should know this, but no judgment. So I want you guys to just follow me into the kitchen while I show you how we do this, and let's get into it. Okay, so for the shine rice, I'm going to use a bit of ginger, onions, garlic. I have, well, this is meant to be a seasoning pepper, and this is a wiri pepper or hot pepper. You can substitute for scotch bonnet, you can omit it completely. This is meant to be a seasoning pepper from Guyana, but to me they're all hot. This is a pimento pepper that I've cut up, or a seasoning pepper depending on the island in which you're from. I have a few sprigs of fresh thyme. And for this, the general, you'll need some salt and pepper to taste. So I have a bit of black pepper. And for those who've seen my videos before, know I don't normally use salt in my cooking. So I'm using these Maggi stock cubes. But you can use seasoning, salt, all-purpose seasoning, whichever you prefer. Just a little bit of sugar. I know that sounds a bit weird, but don't mind that. It all adds to the flavor and everything. I have a bit of preserved shrimps or dried shrimps that I've soaked, which is optional in this recipe, but it does make the dish a lot better. I have 2 heaped tablespoons of green seasoning. So this is a blend of onions, garlic, ginger, scallions or shallots, spring onions, bell peppers or sweet peppers, seasoning peppers, a bit of hot pepper in there, a bit of parsley, celery. If you guys want a recipe for this, I can do that. A bit of fresh coriander. Now, what you're also going to need is some coconut milk, and I've made some fresh coconut milk myself. So all you can do is just get a regular coconut. You can crack it open, put it in a blender, and just blend it all up. Or you can just be very simple and just use a can of coconut milk. So I'm just using 1 coconut, and I'm just going to add some hot water to this. I didn't add a lot of water while I was blending it, but you can use depending on how fast you do. I am also using a handful of spinach. So these are like baby spinach. Back in the Caribbean, if you could get like thick leaf callaloo, that would normally be used. And what we're also going to use is some Cookup seasoning. So it doesn't matter the brand, this is in the brand. I've never used this before, but I think I'm going to try this one out today. And there's the Chief Cookup seasoning. I know there are a few people that do a few others. I think there is one called Pepe's. It just depends on play around. If you can find it, just use it. So there's no need to worry if you don't have the specific brand. You can omit it if you want, but it does help. And then we have our rice here. So I've just washed this and just allow it. So, and then we're gonna need a bit of oil for frying. Now let's get into this recipe. Okay, so now in a pot I've basically put about a tablespoon of oil to hot. And you can use, well, your oil of choice. Some people might want to use coconut oil. Just add into that coconut milk to build in that coconutty flavor if you like. I'm just using some plain regular vegetable oil. So now we're just going to add the onions and the garlic and that fresh ginger. See, I love ginger, so I add a fair amount, so about 2 tablespoons worth. But you can reduce it. You don't have to use much, but I just like that. And I'm just gonna add the seasoning pepper to this. And we're just gonna allow this to render for a bit. So we're just gonna cook it until that onion becomes very soft, and that garlic. We're infusing this oil also because we're gonna add the rice to fry for a bit. But also, but you don't want to add too much oil because it's not fried rice you're doing. But yeah, So we're just gonna allow this to fry up for a bit, and you don't want to make sure the garlic doesn't burn, and then I'll show you the next. Okay, so now that I've allowed the onions to cook for a bit and they're nice and soft and that garlic is fried up and you can smell it and that ginger seasoning, we're gonna add the rice to this. So you just pour it all in. Also, just bear in mind that obviously when you're adding something that is cold or cool to hot oil or anything, it does take down the temperature a bit. So I've had this at a medium heat, so I'm just gonna put it up on high for a bit. So I'm just gonna stir that in. Just wanna coat that rice with that infused oil, with that flavor that we've just been frying up those onions with and everything. And we just want that temperature to raise up so it allows the rice to toast, so give it like a nice nutty flavor. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add that green seasoning to this and just allow it all to fry up together. So we're just gonna start seasoning this rice as it all cooked together. If you want, you could add the green seasoning when you are frying up the onions, but it's not necessary because everything's gonna be evenly incorporated and we want to layer those flavors. So if you already look at that, it's already starting to look so beautiful. Then at this stage we're just gonna continue to season the rice. So you're just gonna add a bit of black pepper, you can omit this, just a bit of sugar to add a bit of balance. I know it's a bit weird, people like sugar and rice is something people do. You don't have to, depending on the coconut you get. Like I find coconut milk sometimes add a naturally sweet taste. So if you're like back home in the Caribbean stuff and you can get that really like a proper nice coconut, then you can leave that out. But here, to me the coconuts are not picked when they should be, because obviously they are exported, so they lack a lot of that flavor and that taste. But I still like to make that fresh coconut milk because obviously it makes me feel very nostalgic on there. So now at this point I'm just gonna add the preserved shrimps to the pot. So all of that will fry up with the rice and get some of this flavor and all the different spices and seasoning incorporated. It is not like regular shrimp where you'll be worrying about, oh my, it will be overcooked or rubbery. No, that won't happen here. And now at this point I'm just gonna add the okras and the baby spinach. I'm just gonna give this a good stir. And I want to make sure that you guys have your coconut milk at hand, because we're soon going to be adding it to the pot. Okay, so now at this point we're going to add our Cookup seasoning. And this is just a blend of salt, black pepper, onion flakes, garlic granules, thyme. Oh, well, this one has coconut powder, that's new. Basil, it says tomato powder, and a few other stuff. So we're just gonna give this a try so I'm gonna use about half a pack, because that's normally the amount I would use, because it's not a lot of rice. So I have about 2 cups of rice in here. Like I said, it is not something that you need, but it adds that extra oomph to the pot. And then at this point, I'm just gonna add my fresh thyme, and you need lots of this. If we were in Guyana back home, you could get some broadleaf thyme, because there's different types of thyme. Something we call Marineland poke. I know the name is weird, which is sweet basil. Actually, I stand corrected. Lemon basil, I know you can tie the thyme together in a bunch, and then, but I just leave them like this. Just allow them to, I can pick them, to me I can easily pick them out after I'm finished. But then if you're someone that don't want to add work, you can just tie them together in a bunch and just put them in the pot. And then at this point I am just going to add the cubes in, or you can add your salt. Okay, so now I've added the cubes. Just give this a good stir. You can just add salt. I used about 4 Maggi cubes, well, the type in which I am using. I normally, well, from my experience of cooking with it, how much I'd normally need in this amount of rice. But it's always important to taste as you go along. Like I said, it's the first time you're using that brand of Cookup seasoning. So we're going to use, and you can smell how lovely this smells. And at this point, I'm just going to add the coconut milk to this. And then you can hear that, because I did turn back on the stove, everything has now gone, because it's lost some of that heat. So I'm going to turn the stove back up on high. But you can see there's not enough liquid in this, because we still need enough to cover the rice for about, let's say, 2 centimeters. So I'm just going to pour some hot water into this. And we just want to have enough to cover the rice. Now it depends on whether you like your rice to be super soft, or as some people say, some people like a sappy Cookup, which means it's pretty liquid, it's not dried, it's very loose, and the rice is very soft. So we're gonna add those, and let's not forget our wiri pepper and our next seasoning pepper. Well, I still think they're both hot, so I'm just gonna rest that there because they're full of so much flavor. Or you can put a Scotch bonnet pepper, and if you don't want that heat, you just leave them hold and allow that flavor to get in. You can take them out, and just be careful not to burst them. But if you're someone who don't mind heat, you can cut it up, or you can just do like me, whether they burst, because to be honest, I'm cooking for my mom. She doesn't like a lot of spicy food, so that's why it's not there. But if it bursts, I wouldn't mind. But yes, I'm being a good son today, so I'm being mindful of her. So what we're gonna do is just gonna allow this to come up to a boil, and then we just gonna turn the stove down and just leave the rice to simmer and cook for about 30 to 45 minutes. We're going to check this occasionally and make sure and taste it for salt, and then I'll show you what happens next. So we're just going to cover this and let it go. Okay, so I just took the cover off of the pot, and you can see that all of the liquid is going, so we're just going to give this a quick stir. You can see it's not yet dry, but the rice is cooked. And at this point, what you can do is just do a quick taste check, and just to see if there's anything else that needs to be added to the pot. So for me, now I've tasted this, it is perfect. So at this stage, what you want to do is just depending, if you like your rice extremely soft, you can add a bit more water, a bit more coconut milk, or just allow this to dry down a bit so all the liquids have evaporated. And also, this is optional, so what we're going to do is just put a bit of butter. So if you can put your favorite butter, if you have like a salty butter, you just rest that right in the middle of that pot, and then we're just going to cover it down and continue to allow this rice to steam on a very low heat, and that butter is going to melt, and then we're just going to stir that in. That's going to add to the flavor of the rice, and then that's basically our Cookup done. Okay, just wanted you guys to have a quick look of the finished product while it's still in the pot. I took out the thyme, the sprigs of thyme, so you guys can see how beautiful it is. The rice is loose, that okra in it. I've broken up some of the okra a bit, but that's fine. That's how you want it sometimes. You don't really want major chunks. You can keep them whole. That's okay. I'm sure you can hear the fish frying in the background to go with this lovely dish. But yeah, so I'm gonna plate it up and show you. Okay, so now I've just plated up the rice a bit. We're gonna have this with a bit of fried fish, some fried plantains, and just a bit of a quick side salad, nothing much to it. Bit of tomato, lettuce, and cucumbers. So yeah, so if we have a look at that, how beautiful that is, you can see bits of the preserved shrimps. And yeah, so it is, because I've tasted it, it is amazing, and I can't wait to dig into this. But just before I go, I just want to let you guys, just want to thank you guys for watching. And I just want to ask you guys just to make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, because I will be bringing you a lot more content. And make sure you share this on all your social media, tell all your friends, family, everyone, and let them come and join us over here. And make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you try this recipe, let me know. And let's get into it. Bye.